Hi there, I'm Paul Sexberg, Community Manager for Roxley Games, and I'm here to show you an advanced prototype copy of Steampunk Rally Fusion. In this game, you are playing Victorian-era inventors, and they are doing a wacky steampunk race to prove who is the greatest inventor, because that's what inventors do, right? During this game, you start with a small little cockpit and an engine, and you're going to be drafting all these crazy parts off of the different piles to add to your machine while you are racing it. When you draft a card, you just install it right away. You have these little valve connectors, and you can rearrange this freely, so if you want to add this, you can add it on like that. The parts, however, do not power themselves. They need energy, which comes in a few different flavors in the game. We have electricity, heat, and steam, and each one of these is powered in different ways. This one will use either heat or electricity, and you can acquire this in a couple different ways, but the most common way to do it is if you draft a card and you don't want it, you can instead sell it back to the discard pile. So this one would give you 2 heat or 2 cogs, which are the money of the game. Each card's like a little formula. It tells you what it does, what it wants, what it'll do with that, and what it will produce. So in this case, it wants the heat. The little question mark says how many pips it wants. In this case, the question mark's a new mechanic. From the old Steampunk Rally, it would have like a 4, like this one down here. Every 4 you put on there will trigger it. In this case, the question mark is the number of parts you have in your machine. So the smaller your machine is, the more efficient it will be. And then if I put that on there, I gain 2 shields. The shields are useful because there's a lot of things in this game that will damage you. Every time you run over little mountains like that, you'll take some damage. There are cards in here that can damage. There's ways you can damage the other players. This has a little more interaction than the original Steampunk Rally. You start taking too much damage, you're going to start chopping parts off your machine. You lose too many parts, you'll explode, you'll go to the back of the pack. Not a good way to win the race. Those familiar with the original Steampunk Rally, this is going to be a standalone expansion. So you can either play it by itself or you can mix it in with the original. Gameplay will be exactly the same. But it's all new cards, all new inventors, a couple of new tracks. We have here a Machu Picchu track. The other track is going to be Mars. There's a number of new additions as well. So we've got these little event things that will take place at different parts of the board. And this replaces your old draft direction dial. So now when an event happens, something will occur and now a new draft direction is revealed. We also have secret projects. You will have one of these down in the corner there. And if you have some excess dice and they form a run, you can put them on there. And then later on in the game, you can activate the secret project. And based on how many dice you've managed to put on it, it will produce a large effect. And so these are really good sort of late game catch-ups and surprises and things like that. Just like the original Steampunk Rally, this is 2 to 8 players. And once you know what you're doing, you can still play it in about an hour because most of the gameplay is simultaneous.